This is going to be a really weird year for DC Multiverse from McFarlane Toys. They're starting to crank out some iconic, great versions of figures, characters that we wanted to see for years. And I'm not a big believer in too little, too late. As long as I have them in my collection, I'm good. And these figures that he's shown as of late are really getting me excited. We don't really know even now when he's done with the DC license. Todd is saying, I'm talking to Mattel, I'm talking to Warner Brothers and DC, trying to figure out a way to make things work. So maybe he can accommodate this. Maybe Mattel's okay with him doing his oversized 7-inch figures. We'll see. But for now, all we know is this is the last hurrah from McFarlane Toys with the DC Multiverse line. They're going out with a bang. Shout out DDP. Let's talk about all these reveals that are shown and a few more figures that we've yet to see revealed right now. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. And the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line is one I did not expect to have so many figures of. You can see some in the background. I still have a lot more to open up and review, but I'm pretty happy. Scale issues, body reuse that make no sense to the side. I really enjoy these figures, and it looks like the hits are going to just keep on coming with what's been shown at Toy Fair over the weekend, the glamour shots that we just got the last few days, the latest DC Direct line, and there's a lot more still left to come that we haven't seen even right now. So let's break down this DC Direct line because these look really awesome. First up is a Silver Age. Seems like it's kind of misidentified as the Silver Age Batman is facing off with him with Ace the Bat Hound. But check out this Two-Face. This is really good. I think he's joining that pantheon of Penguin, Riddler, Joker. Really well done figures that we're seeing now from McFarlane Toys. But check out all the detail on this figure. The head sculpt looks really, really good. You know, from that package shot, because somebody has it in hand, couldn't quite get a look at all the details in the head sculpt. It looks really good. I love the texture in here on the suit. And you can see it's got the multicolored look going, orange here, purple on the right. The tie is split down the middle. And you can see, of course, he's got his hand holding the coin that will decide everyone's fate. And this is a really sharp looking figure. Again, that texture on the shirt, the jacket, and of course the pants looks so clean. This expression really solid for Two-Face. We don't always get alternate head sculpts, so he really needs to nail it that first go round, and I think he did here. There are some concerns people had. All right, like, is this going to be the actual version we get? Because there was a platinum version we saw first. This is that classic look, though, so I'm really glad that we have this figure. And here are some other companies' takes on this outfit. Here's the DC Direct version from Arkham, the video game, but you can see the orange and purple from Mattel. And this is a figure that I really like standing on the shelf. I start to move him around. You can see with the elbow and the bicep articulation, it gets a little out of hand. But you can see the Mattel, they started to do some of the pinstripes, but then didn't continue it on down through the pants, which kind of makes it look weird. I prefer the McFarlane route of just ignoring them if you're not going to continue. That was really, really weird. I like the head sculpt. The eyes look a little bit off though, but this was a cool Two-Face figure back in the day. If you want the ultimate version, of course, you go to Mezco. They've got a really awesome version. The checkerboard pattern continues all the way through. That looks really nice. And you can see the level of detail in that head sculpt. He looks intense, really nicely done. The bow tie looks cool. I mean, the tailor to get that look down, really good. And of course, there's so many different hand options. You can have him flipping the coin in his hand. That's really neat. So if you want the high-end version of Two-Face in this style, there you go. But he's also going to run you $197. So take that as you will. Of course, he's not coming by himself. He's packaged with the Golden Age Batman. So there you go. Kind of justifies it somewhat. But anyway, I was really excited about this Two-Face figure. He looks really good. Great addition to that Batman Rogues gallery shelf. I really need a Catwoman to go along with him, Penguin, Riddler, and Joker, though, because he's going to look good. Now, of course, the question is, what gun am I going to include with this Two-Face figure? Because we know since there's no not a toy, he's not going to come with a gun. And, that's just kind of what's the norm now for what we're getting from DC figures, thanks to that Warner Brothers edict that psycho killers, murderers cannot have guns with their toy figures. So, next up, after Two-Face, is this guy. And again, this was one, it was like, I hope the colors match up. We saw the platinum editions first, and that platinum edition looked really good, but it was like, please just do right and give us the old school classic colors. We got them for Dr. Fate. This figure looks so good. Trying to think, is this the Blue Beetle mold? I think it is. And it's got those shoulders. So he has the Blue Beetle mold. You can see by the boot cuffs there. But the soft good capes, the posable wired capes was such a great addition to this line. And I really feel like it enhances the figure so much. He looks great. I love this color scheme. Dr. Fate wasn't exactly a heavy hitter like, say, Wildcat or Adam. I don't necessarily mind his size, but I do wonder if this is going to make him look a little slight next to that Jay Garrick figure we have. Doesn't quite perfectly match up to this golden age look of Dr. Fate. I'll allow it though, because this figure is going to look really cool next to Alan Scott, next to Wildcat. And I really love those colors. They pop so nicely. I love how we've got the helmet where you can't see his eyes, but it's still like deeply in there, deep set. That looks really great. The gloves, solid. This is always one of those pieces where it's like, I guess they're just going to have to color it in because there's no need to create a whole new part for this little butt belt buckle. But there you go. I really like how this figure turned out. And again, they had a platinum version of it, of him and Two-Face. You can see that dark gold. So it's like, okay, in a pinch, I guess that could work. But I'm so glad we have the classic look. Two-Face, you can see he's got the black and white suit. And I think that actually looks pretty good too. So lots of different ways to go. If you have a modern Batman shelf, maybe you'll grab this one and put this version of Two-Face with this one. And then the other one you can put with your Silver Age Batman villains. Nice to have options, but both of these figures look really clean. I do have one slight gripe. I really wish that this platinum version of Dr. Fate looked like this guy, the modern-esque era version of Dr. Fate, the Hector Hall version, which was a main featured player in the Jeff Johns, David Goyer run of Justice Society. Such a great book. And we don't have a ton of characters from that, but it would be really nice to get this as the alternate version of Dr. Fate. So there you go. We got those two. Very exciting, solid lineup. And of course, I got to say the best for last with this one. This is going to be one of my favorite figures of 2025, apparently. It is this version, the Jose Luis Garcia-Lopez version of Superman. And oh my goodness gracious, this figure looks great. I mean, I've not seen a bad photo of this figure. And that is always a key because it's like, well, from this angle, it looks good. Oh, okay, this one not so good, but this figure looks great every way it is shot in such a classic pose. I like the head sculpt for Superman. We've had some that are close, some that are just way off, but this one, fiercely determined, heroic Superman. And that's really all I want for my Superman figures heads. And here you go with that. It is so classic. Again, soft goods, posable cape. And I was looking over my Mattel figures, my Superman, and like, I don't know if I really have a favorite. The main default one that I have in my Justice League, he's okay, but he's not as big as he should have been. So he's fine. DC Essentials has a really nice Superman, but of course he's the same height as Nightwing, Batman, and everybody else in that line. The DC Icons one, so close, but the head sculpt's a little bit off, and he's got more of that paint dot matrix deal going where he's kind of looking like his eyes are starting to turn red. This Superman looks like it is going to be the best version of Superman. I mean, it is. I don't know if there's much competition because I have a ton of Superman figures. I'm sure you do too, but this one really looks great. So I am very excited about this figure. Cannot wait to add him to my collection. So there you go. He's solid. Great stuff from those reveals. But there's more to come. And we know that more to come. We're going to start to see some of it because McFarlane Toys has their recap of New York Toy Fair on the McFarlane Toys show coming March 11th. That's next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time for those of us on the East Coast. And AJ and Claudio are going to be revealing some exciting new releases that were not shown at. So it'll be really interesting to see what shows up, what they reveal, how many TC figures we could see in the works there, because they have revealed some figures in the past when they've done these shows. Let's see if I can pull those images up really fast, because I did not decide to prepare for whatever reason, but they're easily found. So the last time they had a show, they revealed this guy. And I wish he was on a different mold, but what can you do at this point? Deadshot. He looks really good. I hate this speeding bullets mold with a passion, but I think it almost blends in pretty decently on Deadshot. He looks like a really great figure. Can't wait to get that pre-order information from him. The other figure they revealed during that last one was this guy. And let's go pull him up as well. He also looks really good. I just don't like the fact that they went with the more modern costume based on a story that I did not love. Strange Tales, Adam Strange. The figure looks really good. I hope I can repaint this or just paint over the darker red sections, but this Adam Strange figure looks really, really nice. So we saw those two. So maybe we're not going to see a ton of figures revealed this Tuesday, but we do have a leak list that has a few more names. And of course, it's more than two. So we could see Bizarro, we could see Jade and the Eradicator. Those were some of the options in New York Toy Fair. So we know they're in the works, but maybe we'll see their prototype renders coming this Tuesday. Also, there's a Hal Jordan armor. Disco Nightwing in his debut look. I don't have a Nightwing figure from McFarlane Toys yet, so hopefully this will be the one I want and will grab. And then, of course, there's Monarch from the Armageddon storyline. That's a really wild figure to go with. And Batwing, the second version, Luke Fox, not the original one that we got earlier. And then one more version of Azrael in the Bat armor. So lots more to go. And of course, we're so early in 2025. There's so much more McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure love to come. I'm still working on my wish list. I keep changing it. Like, all right, here are the essential figures we got to get. But I feel like there's plenty more to go. So hopefully we'll see some of them, maybe even before I get my wish list completed. Anyway, let me know what figures you want to see from this line before it wraps up, calls it a day. I'm really excited about the direction, even though it's taking a little bit longer than some of us wanted to see these iconic takes on figures. So hopefully we'll see more of them before the year runs out. Let me know which ones you're looking forward to seeing. Of course, thank you so much for watching. This episode of the House Figure Files has been filed.